I think it really helps knowing what you're passionate about. I was lucky to find the wedding industry and kind of discover how fun that is. It's not for everybody, but it's fun for me. And that's kind of like the thing with filmmaking, you know. It's a lot of trial and error, not only in finding what you're passionate about, but also in the editing bay. You know, just trying new things, and it's a very good thing to kind of, you know, look into, you know, what you like and what you don't like. And, you know, a lot of my professors here at STOUT really stress that on all of us students is, you know, finding what you like and kind of sticking with it. My name is JLP Phillips, and I am a junior at the University of Wisconsin STOUT. I think my favorite aspect of video production and filmmaking is just creating a story. For my weddings, you know, getting the cool shots is good, but you know, when you put that video together and you can't like relive that day, then it becomes a crappy video. So kind of like being that storyteller, but not in like a narrative aspect, being that storyteller of like bringing their day to life. And even with the sports stuff, you know, highlighting what happened during the game and whatnot, you know, just creating that story is, I think, very important. I think one of my favorite things. Well, my favorite piece of gear for the storytelling aspect would have to be my lav mics and my Rode Wireless Go's. They're very portable, very easy to set up, and I really enjoy using them. If we're not talking about storytelling though, and it's just my favorite gear in general, it's got to be my 70-200 f4 camera lens for my Canon R6. I use that for everything from sports to my wedding stuff. It's just overall very good, very sharp lens, and definitely worth the investment for sure. So the brand I use is Canon. That's how I started. My very first camera was the SL2. My mom and my grandma helped buy that for me for my graduation present for going into college, so I have a camera. And I love that camera so much. I actually still have it in my studio, so just kind of remind myself where I came from. Once you buy a specific camera from a specific brand, you kind of just stick with it. It's very hard to switch. So the cameras I have now, I currently use the Canon R6 as well as the Canon R and R10 as B and C cameras. I use the R6 on my gimbal a lot for weddings, and I also use it extensively for sports. It's just very sharp. And a great camera, very easy to use right out of the box, and very minimal things that you have to do with the color, which is kind of nice. Kind of speeds up your workflow using that. So for sports videography, what I usually do is before I go to any game, I get the music ready. I think music is like the biggest or the most important thing in sports. As soon as I got that, I head to the gym or to the field, whatever I'm shooting, and I just kind of, you know, film the pregame stuff. Sometimes I use my gimbal, sometimes I'll use my 70-200 for like close-up stuff. And then once game time hits, then that's go time. You know, you're only shooting that once. You know, you don't get a retake on that. That's kind of like, that's what I really like about the sports and even weddings too, is that it's one shot. That's all you got. And you know, the pressure's really on, and I think working through that pressure kind of elevates my game in the filmmaking industry. With sports, I do the same night edit. You know, that's part of my job, you know, having to get that content out right away, because you know, there's a lot of games and there's a lot of content that needs to be consumed, especially nowadays. And then with weddings, Mondays are the delivery day of, okay, here's your wedding video, here's all the assets, like the first looks that I got of like raw footage of first dances, speeches, and all that. No one else does that. No one else delivers wedding videos within 2 days, and I take pride in that. So I would say my end goal is to, you know, just kind of push my business as far as possible. You know, JLP Films LLC has kind of, you know, grown a lot over the last couple of years, you know, and also adding that LLC title to it. You know, just kind of growing that, you know, being a big wedding filmmaker, especially in like the Minneapolis area where I'm marketed at, and maybe even other places too, other states. You know, always focus on the small goals is kind of like what I, kind of pride myself on, and not try to look too deep in the future, because anything could happen, right? I may not be doing weddings in 5 years. I may be doing something completely different. And same with the sports stuff. Even though I love it right now, maybe there's another opportunity that I find that I'm going to love as well. So the best piece of advice I would give to beginning filmmakers and cinematographers is just, working with what you have. You don't need to go out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a nice camera. My very first wedding that I ever got booked, I shot on my iPhone. So just kind of showing like you can get those clients with little bits and pieces of gear. When you're first starting out, there's no reason to go for the high-end gear. Just go with the low budget stuff and build up your portfolio from there. And then once you get the budget to upgrade, go for it. But when you're starting out, work with what you have.